name is Zara and welcome to my channel. Hopefully you're coming from my other videos about if crystallization is for you and how to begin crystal healing and crystal meditation. If not, feel free to check those videos out. If you would like more of this content, also feel free to like and subscribe for more of this content. In this video, we will be going over a brief summary of history of crystal healing. With that being said, let's get into the video. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, so let's begin with the Sumerians. Early Sumerians would make their beds out of obsidian or carnelian as early as 5000 BC. They used lapis lazuli and red carnelian combined with gold to make jewelry and different types of adornments. Both the men and the women wore jewelry believing that the crystals had special properties that would ward off evil spirits and give them protection. This is something that a lot of different people and religions believed. Now we are getting into the Egyptians. The Egyptians wore jewelry and headwear that contained crystals for the same reasons. They believed that it would ward off evil spirits and give them protection. Lapis lazuli was thought of as a king and queen's or a royalty gem. Some of the crystals that were used in the Tutankhamun, which is the magnificent death mask, I forget of who, but the crystals that were inside of it was turquoise, obsidian, quartz, and lapis lazuli. So obviously he was very considered as royalty. That brings us into the Greeks. Greeks were the first to name crystals. Crystal in Greek is called ice. The Greeks believed that clear quartz was a special type of ice that gave you special types of properties such as warding off evil spirits or healing properties. Greeks also wore crystals as jewelry like carnelian, agates, and turquoise. They enjoyed wearing crystals as earring cuffs, upper armlets to match both the pairs on the bottoms of their arms, as many people have seen in past historical photos. Most of their crystals were designed incorporating the Greek gods, with Athena and Zeus being the most popular options. Believing that the crystals were from gods, by wearing them and their symbols in the gods' adornments, it made them almost mere mortals, making them even closer to heaven. That brings us into Romans. So Roman soldiers and gladiators used crystals carved into amulets and wore them around their necks as protection, as many of us do to this day. But young maids would give them as talismans. I don't know if I am butchering that, but I'm sure I am. But they would give them as talismans to their soldiers as they marched off during the growth of the Roman empires. The Romans had access to wider crystals than previous civilizations because they conquered so much, allowing them to use jasper and amethyst. Now that brings us into Chinese. The Chinese favored jade. Jade pieces would bring abundance, and this is still the meaning of jade to this day. Jade is thought to ward off evil spirits and protect the wearer of the jade. Jade beads are some of the basis for some of the Chinese alphabet and numbers. Jade can also be found in old abacuses from that time. And if you don't know what an abacus is, it's those games where they have the wood sticks along and then they have the beads that you slide. I don't exactly know how to play it, but that is what they are. Nowadays, jade is still used in Chinese homes. It is placed in homes, restaurants, and corporations in large jade carvings, and a prominent place to bring prosperity to the family or business, which I honestly think is pretty cool. Now that is bringing us into the Native American cultures with crystals. Natives would use crystals as talismans. I'm probably butchering that, but they would use them as talismans and carvings of their mist. They turned the crystals into beads and placed them in their dream catchers, and they thought of it to ward off bad dreams, which is what dream catchers are still used for to this day. Many tribes would wear hand-fashioned crystals in their hair, and they believed that the crystals would help heal the sick and protect their community. Now that is bringing us into the history of the medieval times with crystals. A lot of people don't really believe that the medieval times was a thing, but if you do, In medieval times, in these times, the alchemists discovered that crystals did have special properties, and they began to create elixirs of crystals and other potions to drink. Now that is bringing us into modern times, today, this world as we know it. So, many New Age practitioners use crystal healing to improve their lives. It's widely known that crystals can help with mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Nikola Tesla believed that crystals were actually living beings at the beginning of creation, and they knew that they had potential to carry electric charge. He was one of many scientists who discovered the power of crystals and the reason why we know as much information about crystals as we do today. Well guys, that is all the information I have for you today about the brief history of crystal healing. Of course, there are so many more things about the history of crystal healing and how it began, but like I said, this is just kind of a brief message. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't checked out my other videos, feel free to check them out. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more of this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!